And welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bulkus. And tonight I'm going to be reviewing Season 1, Episode 10 of Hulu's original series, Future Man, Operation Natal Attraction. Episode 9 was called Operation Fatal Attraction. So, of course, Episode 10 is Operation Natal Attraction. This is a series that is on Hulu. If you guys haven't seen it as of yet, go and sign up for a free Hulu account. It's a 30-day free trial. Season 1 is up. Season 2 is going to be coming out January 11th. I can't recommend this enough. I initially was kind of, like I said, poo-pooing this whole thing. I heard that Seth Rogen was the one that was producing this along with his partner, Evan Goldman. But damn, that's all I can say. This is a really damn good series. It's fun, comedy, sci-fi, time travel, and it really does throw out all the tropes. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's joined me tonight. We have Movie Fanobi, Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch, Slurmy Scott, and Pen Farm Girl. If I missed anybody else here, if you're hiding, let me know. But so to start off with, I'm going to say spoiler alert. I am going to spoil the shit out of this thing. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. And then you can come back, watch the video, and, of course, comment down in the comments section. Thank you again to Viking Bitch for the paddle. So, where we left off at the end of episode 9 is Wolf was quitting. He was standing outside a Corey Hart concert in 1985, telling Tiger that he was done with the mission. He's done. And, he goes into the Corey Hart concert and disappears into the crowd, and Tiger starts to follow him. And I love she's going through the crowd. She loses him. He's literally right in front of her at first, and then he just disappears into the crowd really quick. And she's pushing through people like, what the fuck? What the fuck? She goes, why are you all wearing your sunglasses at night? And everyone cheers, which I thought was pretty damn funny. That was a really good joke that they did. And by the way, this episode pulls in stuff from Back to the Future, of course, Terminator again, and Mr. Destiny. Talk about pulling one out from the deep archives. But damn, Mr. Destiny. I was kind of surprised by that one as well. So Josh is still dressed in his hooker lingerie and assless chaps. Actually, he's not wearing chaps. He's just wearing lingerie at this point. Breaks into the Futterman house in 1985 and, of course, into his Uncle Barry's room and steals Uncle Barry's clothes, 1980s clothes, which he seems, kind of pleased at finding because it's some really garish stuff that has writing on it and everything, and just some really bad. If you lived through the 80s, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And he goes downstairs and sees his dad's throwing a big party in the house, and his dad's actually doing a beer bong. And he's like, what the hell, man? This is not my dad. And he meets his dad, and his dad's like, you look really familiar. Do I know you? And he goes, no, you don't know me. He goes, well, what's your name? It's Juice. My name's Juice. And so Gabe, of course, wants him to go and get high with him. And he's like, what the hell? You get high? So here's your Back to the Future reference with Lorraine wanting to smoke cigarettes and drink in the car with Marty. Well, his dad wants to, of course, drink and get high. And do nitrous. That's right, movie Fanobi. Yes, they were doing nitrous with his dad. And so Josh looks down at his phone and realizes he has 2 hours to kill before the boat leaves, because he's still on that operation to get Cronish on the boat. Juice, exactly. Tiger, in the meantime, wants to get backstage to the Corey Hart concert because she knows that Wolf has a backstage pass. He has a VIP pass, and she sees all the security. It's like, shit. There's one guy, but I'm not gonna be able to get all of them. She goes, I need an army. And she sees these 15-year-old groupies standing outside and decides to recruit them and train them into, of course, going up against the security guards themselves. So Gabe, in the meantime, is doing nitrous, and he takes a big, deep breath in and goes, "Joosh, I am your father." And Josh goes, "You are. You really are." Which is really fucked up in so many different ways. It's just some really funny stuff, man. And so Josh ends up trying to convince Gabe to trust Barry a little bit more, to actually put some stock in him and help him along. Because he sees that his Uncle Barry was trying to had an application form to apply to AOL, to work at AOL. And it said apply by 4 p.m. And of course, it's just sitting there crumpled up, on his floor. And he's trying to, foster that friendship between Gabe and Barry at this point. And Gabe is basically going, no way. I mean, he just flunked out of dental school. That's where we got the nitrous oxide from. He stole it from the dental school place. And then, of course, he quit. Would you want that guy drilling on your teeth? And Josh is like, sometimes people just need to grow into things. Like, what are your plans? You're going to have kids one day. And Gabe's like, oh, hell no. He goes, I'm talking about getting snipped. He goes, Barry knows a guy, at medical school that can get it done for free. He goes, I just got to find a way of doing it. And that, of course, freaks out Josh immensely, because he's about to back the future himself, as he puts it. And we see two girls at the party there who are Vanessa and Diane. And Josh realizes that this is the night of the flaming sombrero party. And it's where Gabe meets Diane for the first time and falls in love with her. So, yeah, we need to really, he needs to watch out what the hell he's doing here. So Tiger gets a plan together to get the groupies backstage. And she's basically whipping them all into a frenzy. And she says, as she puts it, sorry, I almost couldn't read my own writing there. Hurts more than a robo cactus being jammed up your sphincter, but you got to get through it. And you just got to get up, dust off your clit, and get in there, as she puts it. Cupcakes. That's right, Movie Fanobi. That we find out the reason why Gabe calls Diane Cupcake as well. So she had brought over some cupcakes for the party. Plump muffins made of plump cats, exactly. So in the meantime, Josh is telling Barry to apply for the AOL job, and he tells Gabe, he's trying to get these two together, Gabe and Diane, and there's a blonde girl and a brunette girl. They both are dressed in total 80s garb and everything. It's 1985, so of course everyone's dressed like Madonna or some version of that. And he's trying to get Gabe together with this blonde. And he goes, you guys look great together. You should talk. You got a lot in common. He goes, I know these things. You look like a great couple. And instead, she follows him because he says, I got to leave. I've got a boat to catch. And she follows him and says, I love boats. I'd like to come along. She's actually hitting on him. And he looks at her and goes, ew. Because, of course, it's his mom, or so he thinks at this point. Tiger, in the meantime, uses the groupies to distract the security guards. And as they're running around the group and the security guards trying to chase them down, she goes back and find where the hell Wolf has gone to at this point. And Josh keeps trying to steer Gabe towards this blonde girl. We still don't know who's who at this point. We haven't gotten names as to who is who. And, he's trying to, he's saying that the girl is, hitting on him, and that Gabe should be going out with her. And he calls him dad at one point. And I love Gabe says, did you just call me dad? He finally realizes that after all of Josh's advice, he goes, did you just call me dad? But kind of blows it off, of course, because everyone's been doing nitrous, beer, and smoking a lot of pot. Tiger ends up finding Wolf in the back there and tries to talk some sense into him backstage. And of course, he's getting ready to get his tips frosted. He has a lot of doors opening up for him that he doesn't have to blow up anymore, of course. Yeah, Tiger does totally sell the groupies after that pep talk. She just did it just to get in there, and then completely sells them out when she gets inside and uses them. She sacrifices them completely, and you're just like, oh shit. Maybe that's what she did to her team, but no, we saw what happened there. So she didn't use her team in the process back in the future there. So at this point, Josh stays behind at the party because he wants to make sure everything goes right as he's trying to force Gabe, with this blonde girl. And he's talking to the other girl and ends up flirting with her in the process. They end up flirting. And he's like, look at all, as Movie Finobi put out there, look at all your bracelets here. You got nine bracelets and 5 necklaces. I don't think he can handle you. And then she grabs onto his hand and says, can you? And that's, kind of what leads them going into the bedroom there. Tiger, in the meantime, finds Wolf, and she's talking to him into finishing the mission and going back to a future that's actually fixed at this point in time. And Wolf looks like he's going along with it, but no, he throws her in a giant box, locks it up, and says, screw this, I'm going to go and break the TTD because I like where I'm at here. This is the future to me. This is the now. I don't need to do, any more missions at this point. So Josh is making out with this other girl, and while Gabe is just completely bombing with the blonde out in front there, he's trying to tell her, hey, look, I've got 2 magic 8 balls that tell the future. They're both saying totally different things. These things are bogus. And in the meantime, Josh has the bra off of the other girl and is sucking on her nipples. And all of a sudden, we find out that the girl outside with Gabe is Vanessa, and the one inside with Josh is Diane, his mom. And yeah, exactly. Ew. Diane tells him that her name is Diane and that Vanessa is outside. And of course, Josh loses it at this point and does what all of us would have done. He throws up all over her in the bed. And and the other thing was too, is he was getting ready to leave, but she was flirting with him and, dragging him towards him. She goes, I don't think you want to leave, especially with what's going on down there. And of course, now that he's got Wolf's dick, it's sticking out of his pants there. And he's like, oh man, Wolf. And she goes, you call it Wolf? And he goes, no, that's a different thing altogether. So yeah, it's so Josh ends up throwing up on his mom, his topless mom, by the way. Vanessa has left, and Gabe comes in because he hears a commotion in the room there, and Josh, of course, is in the fetal position. And Gabe and Diane are taking care of Josh like they would, and they're bonding over it too, which is kind of funny. So Josh ends up feeling better. He gets up and he's like, you know what? I'm going to take off. You two, seem like you're in good hands. I'm out of here. And she goes, and at one point, Gabe says, I think you got a little bit on you. She goes, no, that's Cupcake. Oh, Cupcake. So again, Diane's nickname, Cupcake, comes about through puke. Yes, Josh is a really good cock blocker, Movie Finobi. He's a phenomenal cock blocker. So much so that he almost put himself out of existence. Wow. Yeah. So Josh ends up, he's like, fuck this. He goes over to Cronish's house, has a shotgun, and takes him hostage outside as he's taking garbage out of his house and says, come with me if you want to live or have a better life at least. So there's your other Terminator reference. And Tiger ends up breaking out of the box just in time to stop Wolf from destroying the TTD, and they have an epic knockdown drag out fight. I mean, where they are just beating the shit out of each other. And Wolf's like, I'm not going back. I'm not going to do this. I'm done with the resistance. I'm living here. And they're beating the crap out of each other, getting bloody and everything. She pulls out a samurai sword at one point. I believe it's Haley Joel Osment's samurai sword they had from 2017 that she brought back with her. So she pulls that out and starts using it on him. And they're getting all, pretty nasty about it at this point. In the meantime, Cronish has been taken out to the docks, to the boat, and he wants to know why Josh is so intent on his homosexual life, as he says, and getting him on the boat. And Josh is like, because it'll lead you to a better life. It really will. And Cronish basically is like, you know what? Screw this. Help, help. He starts screaming, and Josh throws away the gun and goes, look. He goes, I'm just trying to help you. Get on the damn boat. At this point, Cronish sees his chance and starts beating the hell out of Josh and then gets him in a headlock. And Josh is still trying to convince him and says, look, I've got proof. He goes, this is you in the future. And just before he passes out, he shows him his phone with this selfie that he took with Cronish, older Cronish. And he doesn't pass out completely and is able to show him the boat on the wall of Cronish's office and goes, look over your shoulder. That's the boat over there. You're meant to go on this. This is the thing you always regretted doing. In the meantime, Tiger has kicked the shit out of Wolf. And he's laying there bloody on the roof, on the hood of the Fiero. And he says, I know what the punishment is for desertion. It's death. He goes, do it. Do it. So Tiger brings up the samurai sword and we cut away again. Yeah, Wolf is now Corey Wolfhart, chef. That's right, Slurmy Scott. At this point, Josh is sitting down on the bench and he's told Cronish everything about what happened. His whole trips to the future, the past, everything like that, and what he's done in order to stop the coming future. That's, everything that's going to happen. And Cronish is like, possum ejaculate? And Josh says, yeah, it's really magical stuff. So Cronish at this point decides that he's going to go on board the boat, and he says, oh yeah, by the way, Marigold thinks I'm still taking out the trash. And Josh goes, don't worry, I'll handle it. Famous last words, of course. So Tiger shows up in the beat up Fiero, missing the door, bloody as hell. And Josh asks, where's Wolf? And she says, don't ask. She goes, don't ask me again. He's just gone. And he tells her that his mission was successful, that Cronish is on the boat. And they're like, okay, we're going to go back to 2017, make sure that everything's good, and then I'm going to go back to the future is what is going on there. Cressley. You're shipping them, huh, Fanobi? Cressley already? Cronish and Leslie? And just as they're getting ready to go back and as the TTD is fired up, Josh goes, oh shit, Marigold. I forgot to tell Marigold. Oh, never mind. And they end up back in 2017 in an empty field. And Josh is like, hey, we did it. We actually did it. We stopped it from happening. And Tiger turns around and looks up and her mouth is open. And Josh is still talking about how great it was. They were finally able to do this. And he turns around. There's a giant building that's there with a giant red K. Now, it's not a giant, it's not Circle K. Definitely not. It's probably another Cronish Laboratories at this point. So they fucked up even more on this. And yeah. So that's where the episode ends. And Cronish and Leslie sail off in the future. Maybe exactly, Stormy Scott. We don't know for sure. And that is the shipping part of it, right? Movie Fanobi, is that what you're talking about? So yeah, it was quite an episode and had a lot of good things in it. And just some great lines and great writing. And again, like I said, I don't get paid by Hulu to watch this or review it or anything like that. I just really like the show. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it coming back on January 11th. I believe they're going to drop the entire second season like they did with Runaways. Go and watch it. It's some really good stuff. Yeah, exactly, Mufinobi. Josh also broke a lot more time travel college rules. He did. He broke every single rule of time travel and the laws of man and God, as he puts it. All in that one night. Yeah, because Josh, man, ew. I mean, come on, man. That was your mom, man. Your mom. You don't do that. Yeah, I love the Penn Farm Girl says an army of 14 and 15-year-old wanna bitches could be scary. Yeah, except these were just all whiny little girls. They weren't the hardcore groupies. Remember, I lived through the 80s. I know a lot of you did too. And there were some really hardcore groupies that would put those girls, the fear of God into those girls because they were pretty damn scary at the time. And the one girl that was blubbering all the time and crying at the drop of a hat was pretty funny. That was a throwback to, I believe, 16 Candles, if I'm not mistaken. So That was a lot of fun too. So they have a lot of different 80s references in here, a lot of time travel movie, comedy movies, everything you could actually want, and it's really smartly written. Uh, Viking Bitch says, I will admit to the 80s hair, but I never wore the insanely bright colors. I have always liked black. You were the goth, huh, weren't you? Um, I don't know if you guys remember Hypercolor, the clothing that would change with body heat. Like people would, you have a shirt, and if you put your hand on it, your handprint would, if you put it on there for a little while, the heat from your hand would actually make your handprint on the shirt or from your underarms and stuff like that. They also had pants that were made out of hypercolor, which probably was one of the worst ideas ever. Yeah, that I believe that took a bath on it. So, um, Viking Bitch says, "Do it. Watch the show. I'll come and raid your village," and she means it. So she's got a Viking horde. Movie Fanobi says, "I don't get paid by Hulu. I pay Hulu to show me something hysterical so that this caterpillar farmer in San Diego can tell me about it with style and good thumbnails." Thank you, Movie Fanobi. Yeah, it's man, I just can't say enough good things about it. It's one of the best comedies right now on TV. And Viking Bitch says, I remember Hypercolor. You put it in the dryer and it gets destroyed. Yeah, you couldn't. All you could do is wash it in the sink and then hang it to dry. That was it. And then you had to wash it in cold water too. It was some really stupid stuff. So, um, Penn Farm Girl says, I don't know what kind of meds you're on, Fanobi, but they're doing you proud. Yeah, you're a lot funnier than usual, man. I'm kidding. You're always funny. Yeah, goth before it was goth. Did you do the black eyeliner too there, Viking Bitch? Did you have like the whole raccoon eyes going and everything, or no? Mufinobi says my sister did the big hair and funky clothes. Yeah, I was always a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy, so I never really did the 80s fads. I never really got into it. Although I did, yes. The grunge movement, I have to admit, Viking Bitch, I did own a flannel shirt for a while there, and that I can say that. Yeah. So Penn Farm Girl, my older sister did the fluorescent clothes and big hair. No, just no. Yeah. The catcher's mitt is what I called it. The one where you get the hair to stand up in the front. So it looked like a big catcher's mitt. And, girls would use like about 5 cans of hairspray in order to get it to stand up like that. It's still pretty big, I guess, in some parts of the South. But yeah, that was one of those hairstyles as well. Yeah. Movie Fanabi says, the only meds I need are life and lust. Well, antibiotics, inhalers, and flux capacitors, and possibly psychedelic tea. You need some sewer mushrooms, Movie Fanabi. That'll clear you out right there. It'll make you puke and shit yourself and forget the last couple hours. Just make sure you're in a safe place when you do it there. Viking Bitch says, we used to do the fish fans on the sides of the head. Huge. I remember those. Yeah, I remember the fish fans. Wow, that was some really, really weird stuff. Chicken soup enema is Slurmy Scott's suggestion. Yeah, no. All right. I'm not going to read what you just wrote there, Movie Fanobi. With that, I'm going to end it. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see here. You can also hit the little bell right there to let you know when I'm going to be on next. I am going to do another one of these tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. I'm not going to do it at 6 p.m. because I'm going to be going out tomorrow night. So I got some plans. So I got to do it a little bit earlier. But join me tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, for Saturday Morning Blast Off at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I'm going to talk about all the news that's happened this week. And I've actually got a special plan in store for you guys. And I'm not going to say anything about it until I put up the title card. It may be later on tonight. It might be tomorrow morning. I don't know yet. Probably it's going to be later on tonight. So, I don't know how I get a gnat coming in here. Viking Bitch says, what? Dennis has plans that don't involve us? Of course I don't. It happens a lot. More than you think. And God, there's just so many things happening, unfortunately, that I have no control over sometimes. But this one I do have control over. So, Movie Nobby says Dennis is going to hunt for conch. Yep, those conch fritters, man. You can't put them down. You've never had conch fritters like this before. Yeah, the Saturday morning stream is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Let's just say that. So, with that said, I'm going to let you all go for the evening. You guys have fun on a Friday night. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you might end up finding yourself having sex with your mom in the past, which isn't a good thing because, damn, man, that's just wrong. So, good night, everybody.